The signal arrived at the Sornax detection station on a quiet day. Officer Zechtel almost missed it among the cosmic noise. But there it was, organized patterns from a small blue planet in a distant solar system. The officer quickly alerted his superiors. Within hours, Admiral Krell of the Sornax High Command reviewed the transmission data. His 4 eyes narrowed as he studied the primitive yet rapidly advancing species called humans. These creatures had gone from basic radio signals to digital communications in mere decades. At this rate, they would achieve interstellar travel within a century. Unacceptable. Krell growled to his war council. No species advances this quickly unless they pose a threat. We must investigate immediately. The probe launched the next day, designed to observe and report back on Earth's defenses. It would take 6 months to reach the Sol system, traveling faster than any human technology could detect. Captain Eric Mitchell yawned as he completed another routine patrol near Jupiter's moons. The United Earth Defense Force had stationed his ship, the UES Vigilant, as an early warning system. Most days were quiet, filled with equipment checks and crew evaluations. "Captain, we're picking up something strange," said Lieutenant Diane Harris at the sensor station. Her fingers moved quickly across the screen. "It's small, but it's moving against the solar wind." Mitchell stood up straighter. "Natural objects don't do that. Get me a visual." The main screen showed a metallic object, barely larger than a car, with an unusual crystal array on its exterior. "It's definitely not one of ours," said Mitchell. "Alert Earth Command and begin first contact protocols." Lieutenant Harris was Earth's leading xenolinguist. She had created communication systems for potential alien encounters, though she never truly expected to use them. Now she watched eagerly as her program broadcast peaceful greetings in mathematical sequences, the universal language. "It's scanning us," reported the sensor officer. "Intense energy readings." "Keep broadcasting," ordered Mitchell. "Show them we come in peace." The alien probe suddenly emitted a bright pulse. Then it began to glow from within. "It's powering up weapons," shouted the tactical officer. "Shields up," ordered Mitchell, but he was too late. The probe didn't attack. It self-destructed in a brilliant flash. The explosion wasn't large, but the message was clear. No communication desired. Back on Earth, the news spread quickly. An emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council convened in New York. "This was clearly a reconnaissance mission," said General Paula Woods, "and their response to our peaceful greeting was to destroy evidence of their presence." "We need to prepare," agreed the Secretary General. "Whatever sent that probe may send more." Around the world, governments increased military spending. Space defense systems that had been theoretical projects received emergency funding. The people of Earth, for the first time in history, truly united against a possible common enemy. Dr. Alan Rivera received an urgent call at his university laboratory. The government needed his experimental shield technology immediately. He had been developing theoretical defenses against high-energy weapons, never thinking they would be needed so soon. "We recovered fragments of the alien probe," explained the military officer who visited his lab. "We need you to analyze them and adapt your shields accordingly." Rivera examined the strange alloys and crystal components. The technology was decades beyond Earth's capabilities, yet he recognized the basic principles. With enough time, he might reverse engineer some of it. 6 months passed. Earth's defenses grew stronger each day. New satellites with defensive capabilities surrounded the planet. The moon base expanded its operations to include military training facilities. The first true space warships began construction in orbit. Captain Mitchell, now promoted to admiral, oversaw the training of Earth's first space navy. Lieutenant Harris developed more sophisticated communication systems. Dr. Rivera made breakthroughs with the alien technology. Then one day, all deep space sensors went dark for 3 seconds. When they came back online, they showed multiple large objects decelerating at the edge of the solar system. The Sornax had arrived in force, and Earth was about to face its greatest challenge. The Sornax battle fleet hung in space like a collection of metal mountains. 23 warships, each larger than anything humans had ever built, formed a perfect attack formation. Their hulls gleamed with an unnatural purple sheen under the distant sunlight. On Earth, every screen and display device activated simultaneously. The emergency broadcast system had been hijacked by an outside force. People around the world stared in shock at the alien face that appeared before them. Grand Marshal Vexthor of the Sornax Imperium looked almost reptilian, with 4 yellow eyes and scaled skin. When he spoke, his translator converted his hissing language into all Earth languages at once. People of Earth, I am Grand Marshal Vexthor. Your planet has been identified as a potential threat to galactic stability. Your technological advancement rate exceeds acceptable parameters. You have 2 Earth days to surrender your planet and submit to Sornax authority. Resistance will result in your extinction. The transmission ended abruptly, leaving billions of humans in stunned silence. In the Pentagon War Room, Admiral Eric Mitchell watched the replay with Earth's military leadership. They want us to panic, he said. They expect us to fight among ourselves or surrender out of fear. Then they don't understand humans very well, replied General Woods. What's our status? We have 12 space vessels ready for combat, Mitchell said. Not nearly enough against their fleet, but we have other advantages. They don't know what Dr. Rivera has developed. Across the compound, Dr. Alan Rivera worked frantically to install his new shield technology on the remaining ships. Using the alien materials recovered from the probe, he had created defense shields that could withstand energy weapons far more powerful than anything Earth had developed. The modulation frequency is key, he explained to the engineers. Their weapons operate on predictable energy patterns. If we can synchronize our shields to counter those patterns, we might stand a chance. Meanwhile, Major Samantha Collins drilled her Space Marines in the lunar base. These soldiers had trained in zero-gravity combat for months, preparing for a day they hoped would never come. Listen up, Collins shouted to her troops. Those aliens think we'll roll over and die. They think we're primitive and weak, but they've never met humans before. We adapt. We overcome. We survive. Her Marines cheered, their determination echoing through the base. Back on Earth, the United Nations convened an emergency session. Some nations argued for immediate surrender to save lives. Others demanded resistance at any cost. The debate grew heated until Admiral Mitchell took the podium. I've studied the Sornax message carefully, he said. They called us a potential threat, not an actual one. They fear what we might become, not what we are now. That tells me they're not as confident as they appear. The room fell silent as Mitchell continued. We have a plan. It's risky, but it might save Earth. While we engage their fleet with our ships, we need to gather intelligence on their technology and tactics. Lieutenant Peter Bailey will lead a stealth mission to infiltrate their command ship. In orbit above Earth, Lieutenant Bailey inspected his experimental stealth craft. The small black vessel absorbed rather than reflected light, making it nearly invisible to conventional sensors. It was humanity's secret weapon, a ship that could slip past alien defenses undetected. The mission parameters are clear, Bailey told his small crew. We observe, we learn, and if possible, we find a weakness. We don't engage unless absolutely necessary. As the deadline approached, humanity prepared for war. Civilians moved to underground shelters. Military forces mobilized worldwide. Space-based weapons pointed outward, ready to defend Earth. Admiral Mitchell addressed the combined Earth fleet from the bridge of his flagship, the UES Defiant. We face an enemy that believes itself superior in every way. They expect an easy victory. Let's show them how wrong they are. The Earth ships moved into defensive positions around the planet. In 2 hours, the Sornax deadline would expire. The greatest fight in human history was about to begin. The deadline passed. Earth had given its answer. They would not surrender. For 12 tense hours, nothing happened. Then the Sornax fleet began to move, not toward Earth as expected, but toward Mars. "They're attacking the Mars colony," Admiral Mitchell said, watching the tactical display. "It's a demonstration of power. They want us to see what happens to those who resist." The Mars colony housed nearly 10,000 people. Scientists, engineers, and their families had built the first permanent human settlement on the Red Planet. Now they faced destruction. "Evacuate immediately," Mitchell ordered over the emergency channel. "All civilians to the underground shelters. All ships prepare for emergency evacuation protocols." The Sornax didn't bother with warnings. Their lead vessel fired a brilliant beam of energy that sliced through Mars' thin atmosphere. The beam struck the main habitat dome, vaporizing it instantly. Thousands died in seconds. Earth's small defense fleet near Mars, just 4 ships, moved to engage the enemy. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had to buy time for the evacuation. "This is Captain Susan Garcia of the UES Valiant. All civilian transports, launch now. We'll cover you." The Earth ships engaged the Sornax fleet, darting between the massive alien vessels. Their new shields, enhanced with Dr. Rivera's technology, held against the initial barrage of energy weapons. From his hidden position behind Phobos, one of Mars' moons, Lieutenant Peter Bailey watched the battle through his stealth ship's sensors. "They're using standard attack patterns," he noted. "Very structured, very predictable. No adaptation to our movements." Bailey's observations were transmitted directly to Admiral Mitchell. "They fight like they've never faced real opposition," Mitchell realized. "They expect us to follow their battle plans." Back on Mars, the evacuation continued. Major Collins and a squad of Space Marines had been training on Mars when the attack began. Now they helped coordinate the desperate escape. "Move in groups of 50. Collins shouted over the chaos. "Stay calm and keep moving." A Sornax scout ship landed near the secondary habitat dome. Alien soldiers emerged, tall and heavily armored, carrying energy weapons. They began rounding up humans who couldn't reach the evacuation ships. Collins led her Marines in a flanking maneuver, standard ambush formation. "Wait for my signal." When the aliens moved past their position, Collins gave the order. The Marines attacked with precision, their specialized weapons penetrating the alien armor. The Sornax soldiers fell back in confusion, clearly surprised by the fierce resistance. "They're retreating to their ship," reported a Marine sergeant. Collins made a split-second decision. "We're taking that ship. Move." The Marines charged forward, overwhelming the remaining aliens before they could board their vessel. Collins secured the ship and quickly assessed the situation. "Admiral Mitchell, this is Major Collins. We've captured an intact Sornax scout ship, requesting immediate extraction." In orbit, Captain Garcia's small fleet continued their delaying action. The UES Valiant took a direct hit to its engines, but kept fighting. "Shields at 30%, reported her tactical officer. "Keep those civilian ships covered," Garcia ordered. "Every second counts." Lieutenant Bailey's stealth ship recorded everything. Every weapon discharge, every shield flicker, every communication pattern. Most importantly, he noticed something odd about the Sornax shields. "The harmonics shift when they fire their main weapons," he told his science officer. "There's a momentary weakness we might exploit." On Earth, Dr. Rivera received the sensor data from Bailey's ship. He immediately spotted the pattern. "Their shield generators can't maintain consistent coverage during peak power output," he explained to Mitchell. "It's a design flaw we can target." As the last civilian ships escaped Mars, Captain Garcia's fleet retreated. They had lost 2 ships, but saved thousands of colonists. The Sornax had destroyed most of the Mars infrastructure, leaving the planet a smoking ruin. Earth mourned its first major losses, but something unexpected was happening. Rather than breaking their spirit, the attack had united humanity like never before. And now, thanks to Collins' captured ship and Bailey's intelligence, they had what they needed most: a way to fight back. The captured Sornax ship arrived at the secret lunar base. Scientists and engineers swarmed around it, eager to study the alien technology. Dr. Rivera led the research team that worked day and night to understand the ship's systems. Their weapons are powerful, but their tactics are weak. Dr. Rivera explained during the Emergency War Council. They rely on brute force, not creativity. And I've confirmed Lieutenant Bailey's discovery about their shields. He displayed a holographic model showing the energy patterns of the Sornax shield systems. When they fire their main weapons, their shields create a harmonic resonance pattern. If we hit them with the exact opposite frequency, we can create a destructive interference pattern. In simple terms, asked Admiral Mitchell, we can make their shields collapse if we time our attacks correctly. The War Council approved Operation Thunderbolt, a surprise counterattack on the Sornax fleet. While the aliens were still celebrating their victory at Mars, Earth would show its teeth. Lieutenant Diane Harris had been studying the alien communications from the captured ship. I can't translate everything, but I understand enough to create false orders in their language. Can you confuse their fleet? Mitchell asked. Harris nodded. I can broadcast commands that will contradict their real orders. Not for long, but maybe enough to cause chaos. Major Collins and her Marines trained with the new harmonic disruptor weapons. These devices, designed by Dr. Rivera, could temporarily disable Sornax shields at close range. Your job is to board their command ship and capture Grand Marshal Vex Thor, Mitchell told Collins. We need him alive. Lieutenant Bailey's stealth ship would lead the attack, approaching undetected to deploy special mines near the Sornax flagship. These mines would disrupt the enemy sensors at the critical moment. 3 days later, Earth launched its counterattack. The Sornax fleet orbited Mars, their ships spread out as they harvested resources from the planet's surface. They weren't expecting any resistance. Bailey's stealth ship slipped between the alien vessels, planting disruptor mines. No alarms sounded. The Sornax remained unaware of the human presence. Admiral Mitchell led the Earth fleet from the UES Defiant. 8 warships, including the newly completed UES Vengeance, approached Mars at maximum speed. All ships, prepare to engage on my mark, Mitchell ordered. Remember your training. They're stronger, but we're smarter. Lieutenant Harris activated her communication disruptor. Suddenly, the Sornax fleet received contradictory orders in their own language. Some ships began moving to defensive positions. Others maintained their harvesting operations. Confusion spread through their ranks. Now, Mitchell commanded. The Earth fleet fired as one. Their weapons, calibrated to the exact frequency needed to disrupt Sornax shields, tore through the alien defenses. 3 enemy ships exploded before they could return fire. The Sornax recovered quickly, their superior firepower answering Earth's attack. But Mitchell had anticipated this. The Earth ships broke formation, each following its own unpredictable path, refusing to engage in the standard patterns the Sornax expected. They can't adapt to our random movements, Mitchell observed. Keep changing directions. Don't let them predict your next position. As the space battle raged, Major Collins and her Marines launched from the UES Defiant in specialized boarding craft. They targeted the Sornax flagship, a massive vessel at the center of the alien fleet. The Marines' small craft avoided the main battle, approaching the flagship from its blind spot. Collins led the boarding party through a maintenance airlock, using tools designed from studying the captured scout ship. Inside, the Marines moved quickly through the alien corridors. They encountered Sornax soldiers, but the aliens were unused to close-quarters combat. Collins' team used their harmonic disruptors to disable the aliens' personal shields, then quickly subdued them. Command Center should be 2 levels up, Collins said, consulting her map derived from the scout ship. In space, the battle reached its peak. Earth had lost 2 ships, but the Sornax had lost 7. The alien fleet began to break formation, their coordinated attack style failing against Earth's unpredictable tactics. Collins and her team reached the Sornax command center. They breached the doors and threw in stun grenades. When the smoke cleared, they found Grand Marshal Vex Thor, his yellow eyes wide with shock at seeing humans on his ship. "Impossible," he hissed as Collins placed restraints on him. "You should have studied us better," Collins replied. "Humans specialize in the impossible." News of the victory at Mars spread across Earth. People celebrated in the streets. Humanity had faced its first alien threat and won. But Admiral Mitchell knew better. "This isn't over," he told the United Earth Defense Council. "We hurt them, but we didn't destroy them. The Sornax will return with a bigger fleet." In a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Grand Marshal Vex Thor sat in a special cell designed to hold him. Lieutenant Harris led the interrogation team. "Your species is unusual," Vex Thor said in his hissing voice. "Most races surrender when we demonstrate our power." "Humans don't give up easily," Harris replied. "We have a long history of fighting against stronger enemies." Vex Thor's 4 eyes blinked slowly. "The Imperium has ruled our sector of the galaxy for 3,000 years. We have crushed hundreds of species. You cannot win." Harris studied the alien carefully. "How big is your main fleet?" Vex Thor made a sound that might have been laughter. 10 times what you have already faced. They will arrive within 6 of your months." This information went straight to the Defense Council. Earth needed to prepare for a much larger attack. Admiral Mitchell proposed a system-wide defense strategy. "We can't meet them in open space," he explained. "We need to use our solar system itself as a weapon." Engineers began converting asteroids into hidden bases. Each one contained weapons, supplies, and small attack ships. These bases formed a web across the solar system, ready to attack from all directions when the Sornax returned. Lieutenant Bailey led special teams to place early warning beacons beyond Pluto's orbit. These would give Earth precious hours of notice when the Sornax fleet arrived. "We need to know exactly when and where they appear," Bailey told his crews. "Every minute of warning could save thousands of lives." Dr. Rivera made an amazing discovery while studying the Sornax flagship's engines. "They use a form of faster-than-light travel," he reported excitedly. "And I think we can reproduce it." The world's best scientists joined Rivera's team. They worked around the clock to understand and adapt the alien technology. If they succeeded, humans would no longer be trapped in their solar system. Major Collins trained thousands of new Space Marines. Her experience fighting the Sornax made her the perfect leader for this expanded force. The Marines would be humanity's boarding parties, ready to capture more alien ships. "They think in straight lines," Collins told her troops. "They expect enemies to follow rules of combat. We won't. We'll be unpredictable, creative, and relentless." Earth's nations, once divided by borders and politics, united fully under the United Earth Defense Force banner. Old enemies became allies. Resources were shared. For the first time in human history, the entire planet worked toward a single goal: survival. Factories that once made cars now produced spacecraft parts. Computer networks that once hosted games now ran war simulations. Everyone contributed to the defense effort. Lieutenant Harris spent hours each day with Vex Thor, learning more about Sornax culture and history. She discovered something interesting about their society. "They've never faced real competition," she told Admiral Mitchell. "Their empire expanded by conquering primitive species that couldn't fight back. Their culture values order and hierarchy above all else. They can't handle chaos or unexpected situations. That's their weakness," Mitchell realized. "And our strength." Dr. Rivera's team made rapid progress on the faster-than-light drive. They modified the design to fit human technology. After dozens of test failures, they finally succeeded. The first human FTL engine hummed to life in a laboratory. "We can do more than just defend now," Rivera told the Defense Council. "We can take the fight to them." Construction began immediately on the UES Defiance, the first human ship capable of traveling between stars. It would combine the best of human ingenuity with adapted Sornax technology. 5 months after the battle at Mars, the early warning beacons activated. A massive energy signature appeared at the edge of the solar system. The Sornak's main fleet had arrived, and it was even larger than Vexthor had claimed. The final battle for Earth's survival was about to begin. The Sornak's main fleet entered the solar system with overwhelming force. Over 200 warships, arranged in perfect formation, moved toward Earth. Their new commander, High Admiral Zexkor, broadcast his message across all channels. Humans, your resistance has earned you a swift end. There will be no more offers of surrender. Prepare for extinction. Admiral Mitchell watched from his command center on the moon. He appeared calm, but inside his heart raced. This was the moment all their preparations would be tested. Begin Operation Solar Shield, he ordered. Across the solar system, hidden bases activated. Small, fast attack ships launched from asteroids and moons. Earth's defense fleet moved into position. They were still outnumbered, but they had home field advantage. The Sornaks expect us to make a stand at Earth, Mitchell told his captains. We won't. We'll fight them everywhere else first. The human defense was unlike anything the Sornaks had faced before. Instead of meeting the alien armada head-on, Earth's forces struck from multiple directions in hit-and-run attacks. They would damage a Sornak ship, then retreat before the aliens could respond. High Admiral Zexkor grew frustrated. Find their fleet and destroy it, he commanded. But there was no single fleet to find. Humans fought like insects, stinging from all directions. Lieutenant Harris had another role in the defense. Using what she learned from Vexthor, she broadcast messages designed to undermine Sornak's morale. Did you know your leaders send you to die while they stay safe at home? Her messages said in the Sornak's language. Did you know they hide the truth about other species' achievements? Ask yourselves why you fight for those who lie to you. The psychological warfare confused many Sornak soldiers. Their society discouraged questions, but now seeds of doubt grew in their minds. Lieutenant Bailey led a special mission into the heart of the Sornak's fleet. His stealth ships planted devices on key enemy vessels. These devices didn't damage the ships but collected valuable intelligence about Sornak's communications and movement patterns. They coordinate their attacks using a central command structure, Bailey reported. If we can disrupt that structure, their entire fleet will be less effective. Dr. Rivero worked around the clock, fine-tuning Earth's weapons to target specific weaknesses in Sornak's technology. Each time the aliens adapted their shields, Rivera found new ways to penetrate them. This is like a chess game, Rivera told his team. But we're changing the rules every few moves. Major Collins and her Space Marines conducted daring raids on Sornak's supply ships. They captured vital resources and freed alien prisoners from species the Sornaks had conquered. The Imperium enslaves dozens of races, one grateful prisoner told Collins. Many would rise up if given the chance. This information reached Earth's leadership. They realized this war could extend beyond just defending their planet. They could potentially liberate an entire sector of the galaxy. The UES Defiance, now complete with its FTL drive, prepared for its first mission. Admiral Mitchell would personally command this ship on a bold strike at the heart of the Sornak's empire. While their fleet is here trying to destroy Earth, we'll take the fight to their homeworld, Mitchell told his crew. Sometimes the best defense is a surprising offense. The battle around Earth's solar system continued for weeks. The Sornaks lost ships daily to hit-and-run attacks. Their perfect formations became ragged. Their coordinated movements grew sluggish. The humans were wearing them down through attrition and unpredictability. High Admiral Zexkor finally ordered a direct assault on Earth. Enough games. We will destroy their homeworld now. The Sornak's fleet gathered near Mars, preparing for the final push. But they didn't realize they had fallen into a trap. The asteroid bases, the distributed fleet, the psychological warfare, all of it had been designed to lead to this moment. As the Sornak ships formed up for their attack on Earth, Admiral Mitchell gave the order from the UES Defiance. Operation Checkmate. Begin now. Suddenly, every hidden human vessel emerged from concealment. They attacked the Sornak's fleet from all sides at once, and as the battle raged in Earth's solar system, the UES Defiance activated its FTL drive and vanished in a flash of light, headed toward the heart of the Sornax Imperium. The UES Defiance emerged from FTL travel near the Sornax homeworld. The planet Sornax Prime glowed orange-red beneath them, surrounded by orbital defense platforms. Admiral Mitchell had gambled everything on this mission. "They didn't expect us to have FTL capability," Mitchell said as his crew stared at the alien homeworld. "Their defenses are minimal. Most of their fleet is attacking Earth." Lieutenant Bailey's team had gathered critical intelligence about the Sornax government. The ruling council lived in a fortress city on the main continent. They controlled their empire through fear and strict order. "If we can overthrow their leadership, the entire empire might collapse," Bailey explained. But Mitchell had not come to attack directly. The Defiance carried something more powerful than weapons: information and allies. During their journey, they had stopped at planets of species oppressed by the Sornax. Representatives from 12 different alien races now stood on the Defiance's bridge. Each had agreed to join a coalition against their common oppressor. "Begin the broadcast," Mitchell ordered. Lieutenant Harris had prepared a special message. It went out to every communication device on Sornax Prime and its colonies. The broadcast showed evidence of Sornax atrocities against other species. It revealed how the ruling council had lied to their own people about failed campaigns. Most importantly, it showed footage of human victories against their invincible fleet. "People of the Sornax Imperium," Harris's message concluded, "your leaders started this war. They claimed humans were a threat to galactic stability. But we only fought to defend ourselves. Now we offer you a choice: peace or continued war." On Sornax colony worlds, citizens watched in shock. Many had never seen their leaders fail before. The Sornax valued strength above all else. Their rulers now appeared weak. Meanwhile, Dr. Rivera had provided liberation technology to resistance movements on dozens of worlds. His devices could override Sornax control systems and weapons. As Mitchell's broadcast went out, these resistance fighters rose up across the Empire. "Reports coming in," Bailey announced on the Defiance. "Uprisings on 27 Sornax-controlled worlds." Major Collins led a small team to the surface of Sornax Prime. Their mission was not to fight, but to contact potential allies among the Sornax themselves. Not all citizens supported the ruling council's endless wars. "We've found the resistance," Collins reported back to the ship. "They're small but growing quickly. They want to help overthrow the council." Back in Earth's solar system, the battle reached its climax. The Sornax fleet pushed toward Earth, but human forces surrounded them from all sides. Then something unexpected happened. Several Sornax ships stopped firing. They had received the broadcast from Sornax Prime. Some Sornax captains began to question their orders. Why were they fighting humans who only defended themselves? For the first time in Sornax history, soldiers disobeyed direct commands. High Admiral Zexkor watched in horror as his fleet broke formation. "Continue the attack," he screamed. "The Council commands it." But his words had lost their power. More and more Sornax ships powered down their weapons. Some even turned against ships that continued fighting. On Sornax Prime, the ruling council dispatched security forces to stop the broadcast. But they were too late. The revolution had begun. Civilian protesters surrounded government buildings. Military units refused to fire on their own people. Admiral Mitchell received the news on the Defiance. "The council is surrounded. Their guards have abandoned them." Within hours, the Sornax ruling council surrendered. The news reached Earth just as the remaining loyal Sornax ships were being defeated. The war was over. In the following months, representatives from Earth, Sornax, and dozens of formerly oppressed species met on neutral ground. They formed a new galactic council based on mutual respect and cooperation. Admiral Mitchell, now serving as Earth's ambassador, addressed the first meeting. "We didn't set out to build an alliance or overthrow an empire. We simply refused to be conquered. But in defending ourselves, we discovered something important. True strength comes from working together, not dominating others. The Sornax delegates nodded in agreement. Their society was changing, learning painful but necessary lessons about cooperation and respect. Earth emerged from its first interstellar war not just victorious but transformed. Humans were now known throughout the stars as the species that broke the unbreakable empire, not through superior weapons, but through courage, adaptability, and the power of truth.